Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be going over a bow drill guide for beginners. Let's get right into it. First, we're going to go over the drill. The drill should be made from a softwood. In this case, I'm using white pine. White pine is prevalent in my AO. It's very easy to work with. Find a suitable stick that matches the approximate diameter and length that you need. Less work is better. So diameter should be 3/4 of an inch. Length should be anywhere from 6 to 12 inches. One end will be rounded for the bearing block end, and the other end will be carved to a low blunt tip. That's for the fireboard end. Okay, you see, it wouldn't take much to turn these into this. Next, the fireboard. Like the drill, it's going to be made from a softwood. In this case, again, a white pine. You can take a branch that's similar in size that you need. So what you're going to want is something that's 3/4 of an inch thick, 1.25 inches wide, and anywhere from 4 to 10 inches long. So what I did was I found a branch about 1.5 inches in diameter, and I just split it, and it met the appropriate size. Good enough. The other end is rounded still. Squaring off your fireboard is a waste of time. It's not really needed at all. So yeah, good to go. Here's another piece of white pine. If it's larger than 1.5 inches, just cut the size, split it, and trim it down. Next, we're going to go over the bearing block. The bearing block should be made from a hardwood. In this case, a piece of dead maple that is not rotted. You can see I just cut a chunk out of it, and all I did was carve a divot in the middle. So a divot in the middle is approximately 1/2 inch deep, and it matches the diameter of the drill. So one thing I do with my bearing block is I will put some white pine pitch in the center. That acts as lubricant, and it helps preserve the life of the bearing block. If it's freezing out, just keep it in your hand to keep it soft, because if it hardens, you're going to get some resistance when you're trying to get started. Next is the bow. Bow should be anywhere from 2 to 3 feet long. This is 2.5 feet long. I've had this for about 20 years. It's a maple bow. Diameter is 3/4 of an inch. You can see both ends are notched for the cordage. And for the beginner, use 550 cord. It's the best for a beginner to learn. Now we're going to go over the tinder. Today I'm using dead grass and goldenrod. So the grass is going to be formed into a bird's nest type shape, and the center is going to be fine material from the goldenrod that's broken up. That'll help grow the ember and help ignition. First step is to carve out our crater for the drill and the fireboard. So the center of the crater should be in the center of the fireboard. Okay, I'm just going to go here. Take your time. The crater itself should match or closely match the blunt tip of your drill. Let's take a look. That's a good match. So next, we're gonna carve out the V-Notch. The V-Notch should stop just short of center of the crater, and the mouth should be about a 1/2 inch wide or a little bit bigger if you're using a 3/4 inch drill. First, I'm gonna cut straight in. Multi-tool is probably best for a beginner as well. This makes it easier. You have a saw blade and a knife. Take your time, you don't want to cut too far in. If you do, you can always move the crater center back. That should be decent. Put the V in. Opposite side. And I'm gonna use my knife to touch it up. What do you got, Melly? There you go. There we go. So first I'm going to test it out. Yep, that placement looks pretty good. Now I can start working it. First step, you want to get a piece of bark that's dead and dry. Use that as an ember plate. This will prevent the moisture from the ground getting at the ember, and it'll prevent dirt from contaminating it and make it easier to transport to your tinder bundle. Find a stable place in the ground. This is all ice, but it'll be fine. That seems stable enough. So you're gonna get into position here. Opposite for lefty. So left foot, a few inches away from the hole, the crater. Right knee in the ground. Drill. Fireboard end goes underneath, towards the bow, up, to the left, and around. You want close to center. Doesn't have to be exactly center. Then bearing block goes in your rounded end. And you can start drilling. So wrist is locked into left leg. So drill should be straight up and down. You don't want to be canted one way or the other. If you have an issue where you drilled too far inward into the notch, you can just tilt it backwards if you want to try to salvage it. If you get some drill slippage when you're bowing here, just take your thumb and control that tension. Tighten it up. Immediate action drill, okay? So start out going slow. So we go the whole length of the bow. Not gonna short stroke. I'm gonna wait until I get some good smoke. Then I'm gonna move a little bit faster. Get that V-notch to fill up with dust. Then I'll start drilling for an ember. If you have to pause early on. Remember to keep that good downward pressure on that bearing block. Getting some good smoke. Not just filling up with dust. Let's speed it up a bit. Stop. Check. Looks like I still have good smoke. Pull the drill away to check. Take my foot off the board carefully, or not carefully. Tap the ember out. Take this powder here, drop it on. Best you can. And feed it. Slightly fan it. That looks like a real good ember. Smoking real nice. So right here, I'm just ensuring that it's big enough to drop into the tinder bundle. You want to prevent it from breaking apart on you. And you got a nice cherry to that. I'm going to drop that in. After I throw the tennis ball. There we go. It's going to go right into that fine material, right? There we go. Almost took my eyebrow off, but done deal. Got fire. Any comments? Write them down below. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you.